Good evening. It's 20th February 2011. I'm sipping my morning coffee in the comfort of my Mumbai home. I see pictures of Anne Hathaway at the Oscars hosting with James Franco. I cannot take my eyes off the gown. It is a Tom Ford. It's stunning and glamorous. This was one example of my dream come true. Cut to summer 2018. I'm in London, catching up with friends in a glitzy club in Mayfair. Suddenly, my gaze falls upon a beautiful woman's dress in the spring-summer 2018 Saint Laurent top we made. This top is looking even lovelier than I remembered. The detailing, just the right amount of sparkle, the flow of the fabric, and the impeccable finishing. I remember clearly when this top and this production was lying ready on the quality control table and was being checked ready before shipping. I hear Camila Cabello is popular with this generation. A youth icon of sorts? Who knows her? So now it's 2022. At the Met Gala looks are out. And there I see her, a vision in white. The 3D floral detail on her ruffled trail is delicate and gorgeous. Let's have a peek to see how this was done. And so, as an Indian who was proud of my rich culture and heritage, it was always a dream to interweave our traditional arts and crafts with the Western design sensibilities and create beautiful fashion that is truly global. Let me tell you a story of this journey. So each of these outfits that you just saw, and many more such styles, including this, were conceptualized and executed here at Malaya Embroideries factory in Mumbai in front of my very own eyes. It's a dream I saw 23 years ago, to introduce the world to the arts and crafts of India and to integrate traditional embroidery skills of the Indian artisans with the Western sensibilities of the global fashion brands. Today, as CEO and Managing Director of Malaya Embroideries, leading a team of 450 employees and 4 international offices in London, Paris, New York, and Milan, I see that dream getting fulfilled every single day. The realization of this dream is a collective effort of many people who help bridge this journey of East to West. Take Salman, for instance, an embroidery artisan who came from a small village in Bengal to Mumbai. He learned the traditional embroidery skills from his father, who in turn learned it from his forefathers. This is a skill that gets passed down from generation to generation. He knew he would get a higher salary in Mumbai, and so there he was knocking at my door 23 years ago. When I started Malaya Embroideries was the year he joined us. From then to now, it's been a long journey for him, one full of hard work, full of learnings, but most of all, joy and success. Today, he leads a team of 200 artisans, guiding their work and teaching them every day from all his experience over the years. Let's hear what Salman has to say.
मेरा नाम सलमान है। मैं बंगाल के रहने वाला हूँ, हावड़ा जिला से। मेरा पापा भी यही जरी का काम करता था। मेरा पापा मेरे को सिखाया जरी का काम। फिर 2000 में मैं मुंबई में आया। आने के बाद मिलाया में काम पे आया। 5-6 साल स्वॉचेस किया, कारीगरी किया मैंने। फिर उसके बाद मैडम मेरे को मैनेजर बनाया। अभी मेरा नीचे 150 लोग काम करता है। उन लोगों का काम मैं देखता हूँ, सब कुछ देखभाल करता हूँ। और मैडम आके जब फोटो दिखाता है मेरे को ये काम सिला, तो मेरे को बहुत खुशी मिलता है। और ये सबसे ज़्यादा खुशी मिलता है जो हम लोगों का काम सब जगह में जा रहा है।
On one occasion, I found Abdul, an artisan from Salman's unit, staring on our press articles which I have framed and put on the walls. He had a pride and joy in his eyes. So I asked him, how did he feel? He said, every time I see a celebrity wearing an outfit made at Malaya, it's a huge reminder of our achievements and our journey. It wasn't just work for him. There was emotion, passion, and a story with each and every style that they embroidered and created. The use of his traditional skills to create something in Western sensibilities which was and put out there in the global world, was very exciting for him. Working here was a stark contrast to the sweatshops that he came from. Here he had dignity of labor and didn't mind passing on his skills to his own children, knowing that they can work in an environment which is very professional, where they will be respected and their work will be immortalized in magazines and newspapers. While amalgamating the East to the West also has some challenges, rules, conditions that we need to follow. Just like Infosys, Malaya Embroideries also has to be sustainable and has to have certain compliance in place for the international companies. As an Indian supplier to these brands, we must do a work compliance audit and have a transparent supply chain and infrastructure approved by these international standards. Malaya's workforce of 450 employees, from the embroiderers, tailors, artisans, designers, merchandisers, and all the other various people who work here, are all enjoying a wonderful working environment where all the departments are vertically integrated and they operate in complete compliance and in sustainable methods. One of our favorite style, so these are the parts of our sustainable factory. One of our favorite styles is the one we created for a client for Spring Summer 23. That season is coming up. We love how this client converts art and imagination into something wearable. So the client's brief was to develop an embroidery sample made out of straw or raffia. After much brainstorming, our designer came up with the idea to use the straws from the mats and that the artisans sit on and create a fabulous embroidery. Look how beautiful this jacket turned out to be. It was a collective effort of the designer, the artisans, the artists, and a team that we are so proud of. It started from here, and we made some other styles in raffia too. Last, but definitely not the least, is the international team of merchandisers who enhance this amalgamation of luxury brands around the world with Malaya, India. Celine, who works in our Paris office, says, "I like being the face of Malaya Embroideries. Opening a box of swatches, that new samples that arrive, is like opening Christmas gifts. Each one is creative, innovative, and exciting, much like a few that I got here for you to see. Each brand has their own aesthetics and sensibilities, so to be able to communicate what their requirements are to the Indian office is a challenge, but with a little help of technology, we make it work. The thrill is definitely in working with teams from a country where work culture, labor laws, and other things are different, but yet being able to come together to create beautiful styles that can be sold at Saks Fifth Avenue, Harrods, Galleries Lafayette, and other international stores. So, an idea that was conceptualized by a young designer in a factory in Mumbai was executed by an artisan from a village of West Bengal, using probably a threadwork technique from Kolkata, using a fabric sourced from Italy, beads sourced from Delhi, China, Japan, selected by a brand in France, retailed at a store in the US. This is called integrating and being truly global. It's the culture, arts, and crafts that we use from our wonderful country of India that has helped high fashion and amalgamated the East to the West and brought us all closer. Thank you.
Thank you, Gayatri. Any questions for Gayatri, please?
Gayatri, through COVID and past that, there's been a lot of issues around supply chains and, now everybody talks about deglobalization. So how have this sort of run parallel to what you do and how have you sort of negotiated it?
So actually, being sustainable and having compliance and checks in place has been something we have always done, because the brands that we work with and the big conglomerates like LVMH and Kering Groups, etc., they would only work with companies and suppliers in India that are already in that space. So this is something for us. The journey was there from the beginning. So the only challenge was during COVID, luxury collapsed completely because nobody was buying a Valentino gown, nobody was going out. So in those 2 years, while our business dropped about 80%, we were challenged with what to do. And we decided to innovate, and we used the same resources, infrastructure, teams, and people, and launched a brand, homegrown brand called Gaia. But that's just how we kept them going. Yes?
What would it take to create a Armani or a Ferragamo from India?
About 100 years, let's start there. I think these brands have built their names over time, and in fact, a lot of them aren't even what they were then. They can't even keep up. A lot of the brands have been sold, like Roberto Cavalli and so others. And they're not able to sustain what they were in their day of glory when their true creative directors were there. So, I mean, we have a lot of Indian brands, but then they're Indian clothing. So to create an Armani in India, a Western wear brand in India, is pretty challenging because the aesthetic of an Indian shopper and the aesthetic of a European shopper and an American one are different. So you have to figure out where you stand. So you need a lot of time, money, to create that market and figure out what exactly your brand will be and look like and stand for.
Well, Gayatri, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.